So what type of music does North Star? Is there a particular genre that you guys specialize in, or?
Well, the group plays the Great American Songbook, and for us that can range from, Cole Porter and Gershwin and Jerome Kern to Paul Simon and Lennon and McCartney. Our thing is a great song is a great song, and of course we sort of grew up in the generation that spanned the tail end of the sort of classic Great American Songbook, the Cole Porters and Ellington and so on and so forth. But really, when we were coming up, certainly I was one of the reasons I play drums is because when I was 12 years old, I sat in front of the television and watched the Beatles on the Ed Sullivan Show, and that was powerful in my life. And of course, my dad was playing Louis Armstrong records and Duke Ellington records and Mozart, and so all of these things kind of shape what we do. And now when we get to do these things with the quartet and the strings, we kind of bringing it full circle and combining all those elements.
Now, are you speaking in terms of the ensemble right now, or more of the record label?
Well, particularly about the ensemble, although those things overlap with the label. The label actually started attempting to be a singer-songwriter label, and factors in the marketplace really changed that. Although we had some success with Cheryl Wheeler, terrific singer-songwriter. It was a thing called New England Christmastide, instrumental Christmas songs on folk instruments that established how we sell records. And from that, one thing led to another. We're now all across the country in gift stores and bookstores primarily. And then once the marketing apparatus was in place, then it sort of determines the kind of music that we make, because it's what the people who buy in these stores are interested in.
So have you been involved in the actual record label? Are you one of the founders, or?
I came in about 6 months into it, and I was actually hired to book dates for Cheryl Wheeler, and worked real hard to promote her career. But then, as I say, the New England Christmastide project came along, and we were struggling like mad to compete in the marketplace to get Cheryl out there, and we weren't selling a lot of records basically. But the New England Christmastide thing spun out this new way of selling directly to gift stores and bookstores, and allowed us to bypass the conventional distribution network, which is really a very, very difficult way to sell records for an independent label. And so it just started to snowball from there, and now the titles coming out are approaching 200 releases after 18 years, and a variety of things that range from some world music to the more jazz-oriented stuff, which is what we tend to do. We've got some sort of contemporary instrumental things, almost new agey kinds of things, and some classical music and a real variety.
Were you guys pretty much making up your own model at the beginning, and now you've come to something that works, or are you continually sort of trying to find a way to make it in a music industry that's very sort of volatile, right?
Well, it's always evolving, but we have when we started, we'd walk into a gift store or a bookstore to try and sell them music, Christmas music, oddly enough, and they had no idea that the concept was foreign to them. Now it's pretty much commonplace. It's in the trade magazines, it's in the marketplace, it's in everybody's consciousness that sells. And we also have some very strong competitors now where we didn't when we first started.
What sort of feedback do you guys get coming into your offices about what you guys do? I mean, do you see certain trends in how you're perceived?
We do. There was a period around Riverdance and the Titanic movie where all of a sudden the Celtic sound became very, very popular in the environment in which we work, and so we had some of that music, and we got a bunch more, and that had a run of maybe 2 or 3 years, and then it started to soften, and people pretty much had got that sound to the extent that they were interested. Obviously there's a hardcore following for Celtic music, and there's some unbelievably talented Celtic musicians. But our audience tends to be, not a connoisseur. They just like a pleasant sound. They like a good sounding good sounding music, basically. And so, we do react to the trends, and hopefully in some ways we create the trends.
What is it that you've obviously provide something that the major record labels don't provide? What is it?
Well,
that you
the
bring?
major record labels, as you can tell if you watch their vehicles for promotion, MTV and commercial television and so on, they aim at a very young audience, and our market is an older audience, and so they're basically not being served. And the way I describe it is they go into Tower Record or HMV and they'd see the kid behind the counter has got dyed orange hair and 12 earrings and tattoos up and down his arm and 9-inch nails at 120 decibels, and they'd run out of there screaming. But they go into a gift store and they see we have little listening stations, little kiosks where they can hear this music, and they get a chance to hear it, and they like what they hear, they take it home.